Okay.
So welcome guys again to the next series of Beyond Teas. This is the episode 61 and it's the first one of this year. So okay, we have Anna and Tai joining us. This is so cool. Hey,
Switzerland and Thailand at the same time. How beautiful.
Yeah. Stretching the circle. Yeah. So the new calendar year is starting. Oh wow, Tai, hi. Where is your nose? Where is your mouth? Ah yes.
Hello everyone, I'm sorry, I'm at the mall. I was trying to get home earlier, but I couldn't. So yeah, I just came here to get a earphone so then I could listen to you guys. It's so good to see you all. Happy New Year!
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. So yeah, calendar 2022, 222 has started. Of course, the actual new year starts on March 21. So we are preparing. This is a beautiful time of preparation for the actual start of the year. So we have a little heads up what the year is going to be about. And looking at the astrology and the planets, the north node of the moon, which represents actually where is the collective kind of pathway of the whole humanity, has moved from being in Gemini into the Taurus sign of the Taurus. So from somewhere where we learn, where we study, where we kind of establish what we have learned before, into the sign that is very much about grounding, about something concrete, and about building. So collectively, the time is starting for us to actually make something concrete out of everything that we have accumulated, learned, where we have
Dreamt of.
arrived, what we have talked about, dreamt, and all of this.
Yeah, so this is the moment, the big time from dream to reality. So how do I make it happen? And this end of the year was not easy, to say the least, for many people. There was huge heaviness, so we went underground a little bit for a while to process.
Well, to survive and then to process.
To process these beautiful end of the year energies on many levels. So we're very curious to see how did you survive the end of the year. What's what's up? What's actual? What are your dreams that you would like to manifest this year? How does it feel in general? What is the area that you are confused about?
Yeah. So we would love to hear about this, and for you who we haven't seen, a lot of our friends, including us and including Evia, has been through this super kind of upgrade of the body that kind of let her go through the state that is very close to surviving or dying, literally kind of on both sides. And then I guess through some miracles and energy work, it stayed on the side of surviving, but it was very close. And a lot of our friends has actually been through something like that. So what we would like to hear is, how was your end of the year period, like December, second part of December, and what's active for you? And that's part one of the question. And part two of the question would be, do you have any idea what is your masterpiece that you're about to create? So two-part question. I love that smile, Anna. I see you've been through that.
We know you had a very interesting end of the year.
Yeah, I'm still a bit in this kind of like confused territory. I'm good, I'm healthy. I think that's most important.
But like this huge dream that I had that I am pursuing, meaning in psychedelic therapy training, is kind of like now on the line. And basically, it's like I am kind of like faced with this quite crazy choice of like either being, true to myself and my own body, or choosing to continue the studies and then doing something I don't want to do and I don't need. So that's the crazy thing, because I had also the virus, so I have antibodies, and they now want a vaccine for travel to Ecuador and Colombia, which are the two countries I unfortunately have to go to. So it's just completely ridiculous, and I really feel in my heart that it's still my path. I feel so strongly this is my path, the jungle is calling. And I really love this work with like plant medicines and learning about it, and it's been such a huge help in my own life. So I really feel like I want to dedicate my life to it. Um, but at the same time, I know in my body that this thing is not good for my body and not needed. And I'm not gonna, I'm gonna remain true to myself, like for sure. I'm not betraying myself. So now it's like the question was something new open, like a new avenue of still continuing on the path, but maybe in a different way. But it was tough. Actually, it was very tough. I mean, I cried so much for like one evening, because I was like, no. I cried more than after the story with the guy.
Forget about a guy, psychedelics.
Yes. my life dream, like falling apart. So yeah, I mean, I kind of feel my path, it's calling. At the same time, there are these obstacles now that seem quite like I'm not able to move really forward. So it's interesting time, and at the same time, like I'm trying to find a space within me where I connect so much with myself and the source and the Mother Earth, that I know I will go my path, whatever, so human authorities decide. I mean, who are they, in the big picture? Yeah, so that's where I'm trying to remain mentally.
Beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
Very good reminder about remaining true to yourself, your original connection, and to the nature, because those are the truths above authorities, of course.
And these are the ingredients of this masterpiece creation that we are about to do. They have to come from that space, and they have to come exactly from actually feeling that, hell yes, this is my path. Yeah, not like some like little middle way. Great. Thank you, Anna. How about you guys? How was the end of the year period for you? And what's your masterpiece? If you know what it is. But mostly...
Or anything you want to share.
Yeah. Yes, Giacomo.
I have, end of the year, I found myself being more of an alchemist than I ever thought I was. Playing around with, as you know, all the elements from around the world and putting them together. I found myself very much at ease doing that. It's became very natural. The research came natural. The and then crazy enough, for Christmas, my sister got me small homemade distillery, so you can make essential oils. You can make all sorts of extracts, and it's really simple. I started using it, and it's beautiful. It came so easy to me. I must have been some kind of alchemist in a past life.
Are you sure about that?
Like we are seeing it so clearly.
And so this kind of healing aspect of myself, I never thought I had, and I never wanted to look into it, because I was never interested, or I just let other people be the healers. They do it. Let them do the thing. And so for the project for the coming year is this house in front of my house that last year collapsed. completely. It's an old barn made of beautiful stone, and it basically, opened up. And I was, and I've not been able to get any permits to rebuild it yet. So apparently they should be coming soon within a month or so. And it's going to be, I want to build it into a 2-level barn. And of course, it's going to be like either 2 apartments or 2 living areas where I guess where you can meditate, it's a space of opening up. It's a space of being yourself. It's a space of meditation. It's a space that holds you. Yeah. So this is my dream for this, or my project for this year. And yeah, it's I'm hoping it happens, but it's an interesting thing. It happened right in front of my house, and it was an old barn that nobody ever used. Yeah. It's not a big building. It's nice. I like it. It's cozy, and it's made of stone. It's very rooted, and I'm looking forward to doing something really cool. Yeah.
No, what a literal way of space opening up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the fact that it collapsed after 600 years that it was there, it's a clear sign.
Wow.
Well, congratulations for your alchemist path. And by the way, your remedy is working.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yeah.
With 4 drops, I could not only survive the whole day, but way into the night, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm glad. Good. Now you know where to level yourself.
Yeah.
You know how many drops to take.
And keep doing, because this is beautiful. I mean, if you have a capacity of coming up with these things, it's amazing, really.
Mm-hmm.
Totally unknown, not prepared.
Of
Good.
course, this is the best place to be, because then you can really make something original. And
this is a part of becoming practical, actually making something physical, as we said. So this is going to be about what do I do with my book knowledge, with my unused intuitions and knowledge that I have gathered. So you actually really started to put it into potions, and that actually helps someone like me, in a moment where I wouldn't have many other options.
Into potions, and now you're about to put it also in the physical structure. And this is exactly what this Taurus is about. While there was Uranus in Taurus for already good 2 years, that says whatever we are about to build must be completely next level, like future generation stuff. So if this was standing for 600 years, it means that now it has to have entirely different purpose, entirely different shape, and serve something much, much, much higher. So amazing, and it fits so beautifully.
Once the plan gets together, I'll come and call you guys.
Yeah, wonderful. I have a feeling it's going to click right with this property here, because it's close by enough and probably have some functions that can be done on both sides.
Okay, don't start planning yet.
It's all, I'm already seeing it. It's not even a plan. I'm seeing
It's being
it.
too practical already because of that North Node.
I am already seeing it. So, yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you. Who else would like to share? Hey, Luca, good to see you. Luca,
Oh,
you're on
wow.
the ski slope. Wow, cool. I love this, connecting from the sleeves.
I just wanted to tune in to say hi to all of you, because we haven't been in touch so long. So just to say hi to
Oh,
everybody.
wonderful to see you, and thank you for bringing that energy
Yeah,
in the
a
same
little
time.
bit of inspiration for everybody, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Looks good. Where is it, Luca? In Slovenia or somewhere else?
Slovenia, yeah, Pokljuka.
Oh, wonderful.
Where the biathlon world competition is taking place.
Mm,
I
wonderful.
like to run on the skis.
Wow.
I'll show you around.
Cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. The mountains in the back.
So we have snow in Slovenia and
Okay.
Thai in Thailand, Malaysia, Jakarta, Bali.
Beautiful.
Otherwise, we just got over COVID last week. I see you also recovered well, Evia.
Yes.
So no problem there. we haven't really changed our opinion on the whole subject.
Yeah.
It gives even more freedom to
not be afraid of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
Oh, cool. Great to
Wonderful.
hear.
Thank you, Luca, for sharing.
Yes. Who else would like to tell us about your end of the year? What did you go through? Yes, Sheila.
Okay, so well, thank you, Luca, for that inspiring place, winter and snowing. This year, 21, for me, as some of you know, it has been really challenging because when I broke my leg almost a year ago now, so end of the year, it hit me like, okay, what kind of year did I have? Also, a lot of good things, challenging things, and also what can I do? What do I want to do in the future? Because one way I look at it is like I was really crashing into transformation and shifting, but I didn't know what to shift and how to shift and what to do with my life when I'm getting, as an adult. And so I can see a lot of really nice and good things. And the end of it was also challenging because I was, my head was like, I don't know how to express it, but I should know more. I should work now because I've been, I couldn't do so much for a long, long time. So it was challenging my loving things to move and use my body. I was limited. And end of the year is also like I should be on my skis and work. And it's not possible to work with it. I have tried to ski one time and it was going really good. So I'm feeling like, okay, I'm on my way now. But I cannot work with it because that is too much for the moment. So I had to accept and to be with the situation as it is, and to be more peaceful and to move somehow slower because I'm a kind of active person. So, however, so the conclusion was like, okay, thank you for this. I don't understand it, all of it, but what can I do with it? So now I've been, I'm more gray haired because I've been, using my head too much, as you know. And so kind of cutting off my head, so to be more in the body and to relax. I have really nice friends to relax, and wait for the moment. So yeah, and so in one way I'm good at it, at the same time not. I'm a human being, head and legs, foot on Mother Earth. So now, like 2 weeks ago, or right before the shifting December, January, I was like, okay, what can I do or not? And, so I find this on YouTube, jumped into it, like this energy work. And so I have, how do you say, I'm taking classes on digital course now with this energy medicine or Eden method. And also, and it's during 12 weeks, but you don't have to force it during exactly 12 weeks. It's ahead. when you're finished, you check, and then the next week is coming, or the next module. And I've really been diving into it because I'm an energy person. I'm talking in energies. So this feels really fun and joyful. And also they have a course with these 5 elements, also diving into it. So it's really fun. And every day doing this energy work to support your body and to release blocks, either you know it or not, but this energy work. And I'm so full of energy, so I'm not tired in the evenings. So that is my moment for the future. I don't know what to do with it, but it feels so correct within me that, already like, what can I do for it? When you're stressed, what can you do? Easy things. So I just feel I want to share it. Yeah. And special to use it because it's supporting me, and with my leg. What to do when you have pain. Wow, excellent. So there is where I'm standing for the moment. And then we will see. Yeah.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, quite an adventurous. What a year you had. Wow.
Yeah, and you see, it's I'm very happy to hear that you took our course with a wish to strengthen your intuition, and here you go. Actually, this is your intuition guiding you. Like when you say I fell on that YouTube video, well, you were guided to that YouTube video, which actually opens another dimension of using the body. And if leg is telling you no more skiing, or no, not at the level of how you did before, then you're very brave and kind of lucid to see that another opportunity is opening up instead. So and thank you for reminding as well. We'll go deeper into this alignment of the body and mind, and how they need to cooperate to create realities. So I'm happy to hear that you're having fun with energy modalities.
Yeah, I have. Thank you so much. During that time, practicing slowly to go skiing, more for fun and because I like it, and so I will see. I just open-minded, 360 degrees.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Open-minded is really the way to be right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Yeah, I would like to hear some other ends of the year. I think I'm seeing, yes, Ev's smile wants to tell us something. Yes, Ev, please.
Everyone, so lovely to hear. Thank you for sharing, Sheila and others. So actually, the second half of December for me went quite well, but the start of this year has been quite intense. So the end of 2021, we organized a beautiful retreat and a wonderful Christmas, had a beautiful community here, and it was just a really beautiful closing of 2021. And I really resonate with the part of first being in Gemini, learning and studying. The last couple of years have very much been for me around learning, studying, and now it's very much about sharing that and being in service. So that's where I'm heading into this year, is being more visible with what I actually do, and it's been really beautiful to see the transformations that people go through, and I'm really excited about continuing that. And at the same time, it's been challenging. I've had a 9-month relationship, and we realized that he was being called to go teach in Mexico, and I wasn't called to travel. So it was also a leap of faith in, trusting our intuition for what is right for us. But it's also a bit challenging to realize that after some really close time and very loving time. And I also got sick in the beginning of this year. So yeah, for me it's more been January that's been a bit challenging, but coming through it, and I'm excited for what's to come, and I can really feel that there's things being concrete and being grounded, and that it's going to be about feeling more safe, being seen for me.
Thank you, Ev. Well, yeah, this is interesting.
You mentioned
Choosing the
relationships.
timeline, yes.
Wow, this is big time.
Year is 2022, yeah? 222. It's going to be a lot.
It's not only a
about the
topic
functional relationships.
of like really embodying and living those divine unions and relationships that we were talking about. It's really making them actively happen with the knowledge that we have accumulated on how theoretically to do it before, all the training and practice that we had before. So now we have to come out with this. And to give a background why, like, around us so many people have relationships, something, endings, beginnings, transformations, redefinings. Because Venus has entered retrograde in December. I can't remember exactly the date, but the day that it entered retrograde, Victoria was saying, Venus retrograde, it's not that impactful. But that same day, I got calls from every possible girlfriend with what's going on, emotions. He's leaving, I'm leaving. It really, the day that Venus turned retrograde, and this is not just an ordinary moment, it's where Venus has finished its cycle. It's 8-year cycle to start a new 8-year cycle. So during 8 years, Venus is retrograde 5 times. So every of those retrogrades actually brings up some kind of unresolved inner relationship ends and bits and pieces, as well as relationships themselves, and especially for those who work with them.
Yeah, to add a little bit why this Venus retrograde is so strong, is it's like amplified because it has like the rocket engine behind it in this sign of Capricorn. It is actually together with Pluto in Capricorn and with Sun in Capricorn. So it's like Pluto is destroyer of everything that didn't serve us before. In a sign of Capricorn, it means old rules, old laws.
Yeah. Old laws in relationship.
How did we start this relationship before? And we can probably go deeper as we start the sharing how it is. But it is super boosted that everybody needs to either transform or dissolve their relationship or themselves. And probably themselves sooner rather than later, because what is self is the biggest hindrance. What we believe is ourselves.
Yeah, and the selves in a relationship will not work anymore. So either we manage to find a space of like true open heart, compassion, inclusiveness, while keeping our individuality, within a certain framework, but free. Or if we cling to ourselves, well, the relationships will just stop working, because this is not the direction of evolution of couples, for example, to bring about something really powerful. So Venus retrograde rattled through everybody's emotional life and relationships of all kinds, bringing these kind of unexpected or very clear endings, paving the ground for new beginnings starting from February. And actually shining the torchlight in every little corner of unresolved
Yeah.
self-love issues.
Yeah. What were my inner laws that no longer stand, but that I have applied to creation and relationships before? This is what Venus retrograde is asking, empowered by this rocket engine of Pluto there. So what are my old laws that I have to get rid of, that I'm still unconsciously applying, and that I applied to my relationship when we were starting? So either relationship will dissolve or the law.
Exactly. And it's the energy is so radical that it's really either or. Either you give up your inner rules or you give up the relationship. So this is a golden opportunity, but not easy on emotional body. And emotions are actually a good indicator where to look for
And
what
when we
needs
say,
some stretching.
yeah, when we say relationships, we actually also mean creations, because that energy of Venus is about creation from the place of heart, from the place of love. Am I still creating based on my old laws? Old laws would be, I need a job, I need to survive, it's difficult to find money, it's we have to work hard for the money. If this is my motivation, it's not gonna work, because guess what? The money will disappear maybe throughout this year, or within 2 years it's completely not going to exist the way we know it. So if we base ourselves on this, it's very old, very old laws. Also, it's about time. What are my laws about time? Time is money. Those types of laws also no longer will exist. Because time used to be money for a while, when, the value of the money was tied to the interest rate, stuff like that. That completely collapsed. That interest rates, none of it works that way at all anymore. So that's another area to look at. That's the favorite Capricorn area, time.
Now, if we touch the topic of time, it's important to understand that we're actually living on two kind of times. So we have the innate universal time, which is based on cycles of nature, on planets, on anything that naturally occurs in the nature, that spontaneous kind of flow of energy in or going outwards, going inwards, the cycles of day and night, and solstices. So we all have somewhere that universal time, which makes things very easy, because if we do timely anything that we have to do, it is almost effortless. If we start creating when the energy is supporting the creation, well, we actually it just works straight away. If we insist on starting to create when it's against all odds, we will have to put tremendous amount of energy, time and money, and it's not even guaranteed that anything works. So this is one big part that we as humans a little bit overlook, because of the way we're conditioned and we live. And we do not necessarily follow the...
To make it clearer, it's natural time versus artificial time grid that has been put upon us since birth and since the schooling. And one example of that is New Year's. Time of the New Year. We're supposed to it's called that January 31st is start a new year, but energetically it means absolutely nothing. It's complete zero. It's completely connected only to the tax year. So it's very artificial concept that is imposed on us to think as something new, because as tax beings, our tax year starts now. But if you look out, if you look at the sun, if you look at the position of the earth, all this, nothing really happens then. It's not significant in any way. The new year starts on March 21st. This is when we have the
even the zodiac
equinox of the spring equinox. Before that, there's nothing. So there's like this preparation. So actually we had a great example of natural time versus artificial time. There was this alchemical sundial that we saw in, what's the name of the town? Annecy? Annecy in France. That, you know, like when you look at the sun and when you look at the sundial, you can see with your own eyes where the shadow is. It's very easy to perceive. This is the time, this is real time. Sun tells it. But what was done there, whoever worked on that symbol, is they cut the dials. They cut everything that would cast the shadows, and they cut really the alchemical formulas from that, so just the form stay there. And this is such a metaphor. I don't know what the natural time is because the sundial is cut. There is no shadow, but I have Google. So I'm going to ask Google what time it is. Google knows. It's the same as, do I feel that I'm healthy? No, I'm going to ask outside authority to tell me if I'm healthy. So this is, you see, the same removal of natural time from us. This is very important in this period because that Venus and creation being in Capricorn are forcing us to look at the natural time and natural timeliness of what we are about to create.
Because the only way to move forward is to do it in synchronicity with the nature. Artificial timeline holds watches, schedules, diaries, planners, calendars, dates, anything that's artificial. And it has been there on purpose because in a bigger scale of manipulation, that artificial time grid that we've been kind of put in, and imagine it goes as far as when a baby is born at least in my times, it was taken away from the mother and there was a schedule of feeding. It's not like when the baby is hungry or where the mother is ready. It's the schedule, a scheduled feeding of the baby in certain hours so it doesn't take bad habits of waking up in the night or something. So, and then the forced siestas for the whole bunch of children at the same time, want it or not, or go to bed at 8. I have 2 children who are complete opposites, and one would systematically rebel against the forced siestas and go to bed at 8. She was active at night, and now she's 19, and still that is her truth. Except that now she's free to live as a night owl. But breaking having that natural sundial broken off and having been given a schedule instead. School starts at 8 in the northern hemisphere in the winter, where it's completely you feel like you just have to sleep till 10. It's completely different rhythm that we have according to the nature's clock. And the artificial clock has really broken those dials, sundials, that would tell us what is actually true to us and how can we do it for our children better according to their natural inner laws. So that calendar and schedule system has actually served a purpose for certain agendas to collect energy and people's time for little money. So the paid jobs with schedules are actually a way to siphon away people's time, because that's one rare commodity that we have as humans. It's embodied time. So when pondering on our embodied time that has been lured out of us or out of others through the schedules, obligations, and things like that, you see how much energy has gone into non-creation. So the actual creation is possible with the help of nature, but that means weeding out the artificial time grid and actually plugging into natural universal time, where things will get easier, where
we will be
it will be
supported.
practical by default, because we will just not have any kind of non-functional ideas that serve nothing. And that's where all the energies are directed right now, to be able to tap into that original innate sense of practicality. You know, Venus is also about practicality. How do I make things better with what I do?
Yeah. So definitely topic number one when we are observing our masterpiece creation is that it's plugged into the real natural time and not in the artificial time grid. So we will have to extricate ourselves as much as possible from it and go back to the authority of our body and authority of sun and planets and earth to show us what the natural time is for what we are about to create. So that's topic number one.
Exactly like Sheila, you said that you're just doing this thing, it's fun, and then you will see when the time comes and shows you what to do it. And this is actually the most balanced approach to the future, where actually you can afford to relax or stay still for some moment, because there is a time where it will just happen perfectly with so little effort, and it will be so spontaneous that you'll not feel guilty about having done nothing for a year, you know. Artificial time grid actually comes together with those. You have to do something every day, you have to be disciplined, you have to have like daily routines. Anything that you have to have in spite of what is going on with your body is will be very difficult to uphold, until we understand that the stress is just this constant scheduling things against our nature.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's a very beautiful direction where we're going, because it's going to be anti-schedule, but practical.
Doing it, like, again, I'm saying from that inner hell, yes, this is what I'm really about, and this is what I'm going to do. So this is definitely coming up as one important thing in this coming time. Another one that is coming up in our research is that we have to do something called anti-astrology. And this is very much coming up as the next level of mastery. So what I started to call anti-astrology is, okay, normally when I give somebody an astrology reading, I tell them what are their natural gifts connected to where their planets naturally energize, their way of expression, so that it's easy for them to express in that way, because the planetary energies support them. And we called somebody's highest gift to the world that they have an ease to do because of these planetary energies. Well, next level of freedom is when we actually stop giving astrology and these planets authority over our lives, what we're going to do and how. And this means is getting above what my natural preferences would be and energizing the other aspects that were not necessarily something that how I would prefer to do things, but as a free person, free human being, I am choosing to go that way as well. So it's really actually integrating all 12 of the archetypes so that we have a tool set to do anything that we want at any moment. I'm not anymore Gemini because I'm bored by expressing myself only as a Gemini. Now I'm actually turning more into the Scorpio. This was something that I kind of hated before because I had no clue how it works. And having a Scorpio next to me all these years is actually giving me a beautiful instruction of how it is and how interesting it is to express in that way that would be completely contrary to any astrology reading that I would get, except counter astrology that I call it now. And for Evia, she's actually turning into what she never knew how to do, or what she was outside of her preferences, doing things the Gemini way. So what we do now in our sessions, she would speak more, I would hold space more, and actually move energies and kind of tune into what comes through the intuition. And it's amazing, because that gift we would never actually dare to discover, because we thought this is outside of what we can do. But as humans, we can do it all. So what we need to do in this period is get out of our preferences. And especially when it comes to relationships, it's really being pure, like diamond consciousness in the center of that astrology circle, that I can be anything or nothing out of this. So
that's a very big freedom that we can actually claim for ourselves, not to be bound by our one astrological preference, but explore the other ones, because we somehow presume that we are prisoners of our sign, so that Virgos always do like this and Capricorns are always controlling. But how about that we have access to all signs, and when we need to do something, we call in the Capricorn practical energy, the one that's grounded, that one that does things with peace. When we need to tune in, we call in the Pisces energy and see the bigger picture. Like, we still have our base kind of ease in some topics, but giving the freedom to be anything else as well is actually making us very, very complete. And it's a matter of first realizing that it's possible, and second, doing active steps into those realms that were a little bit kind of
that we
unnatural.
haven't explored, that we haven't ungrayed. They're still kind of gray on the map. You know how when you didn't go with the map, it's still gray. But when we open this chapter, it's literally like everything else. You put your attention in that area and the guidance starts coming. This is literally, so what I'm kind of understanding now, that all of those human design, gene keys, astrology readings, it's a great guidance for beginning of the journey. And then it's a great guidance to go against, because it's so limiting to stay only within these parameters. So
it helps us though to understand why we are the way we are, and we understand that well, actually it's a very closed, our astrology is a very closed system that makes us do things in a kind of particular scheme. So what is the partner? What is the role of our like intimate relationships? Well, it's to hit us a little bit out of our grooves,
out of the comfort zone.
Challenge us in those unmovabilities where we are sticking to, but this is how I am, this is how I relate, this is how I do things. Well, how about that the thing that you can't accept in others is an invitation to stretch and see, would it be possible to become different? Would it be possible to embrace the way other people do things? For like chaotic or impractical person, would it be even possible to become structured, organized? And usually for what's opposite to us, we have a kind of apprehension and judgment. Like, I was judging Geminis big time because of, there's, kind of frivolous, superficial, do millions of courses, don't know anything in depth. So, because, that's not how I do things. So, of course, I was like, with my opinions about it. But then looking deeper, it's like, wow, but they're also having the lightness, the dynamic energy, the kind of non-seriousness about life, and so many other like cool things. So why not to take the best of the opposite and adopt it and bring it into your life? So this is this is high level of kind of integrated
next level of mastery, so to speak. Yeah.
Mastery and versatility that will be needed so that we are not bound by our own preferences.
Yeah.
Because things might change to the point that it's very difficult to continue being yourself.
Yeah. Who had said, where did we read or heard that your own preferences are your biggest boundary to freedom?
Yeah, that's Sadhguru.
From Sadhguru. Okay. Yeah. This is your preferences are your biggest burden. It's like, what? And it makes so much sense. Yeah. So this is the next of those levels of mastery that are coming up for this coming period. How can I be everything else that I thought that I couldn't, so that I can create anything that I want, not just what comes. So, when we say, I don't resonate with this, there's a big question, who is not resonating with it? I don't resonate with that might mean I'm kind of too lazy to open up another aspect of myself for it. It would be so easy. But, I'm kind of used to go this certain way. And when I go my normal way, it's not resonating with me. But it's so cool to explore. Like Pepe says, what's the opportunity here? How can I make this resonate with you? How can this be also amazing? Because the only thing that's amazing is that we are alive at this moment, right now, on this beautiful earth where everything is possible. And from that point, when we deeply feel like this kind of blue sky and these mountains around or nature that we have around, and you deeply understand, especially now since we went through that crisis of COVID, almost kind of dying and getting back from smelling that coming back into life. It's everything is precious. Every moment is possibility for amazing creation. So I'm not going back to any preferences. I'm just going to surf with whatever life is bringing. So that's big time coming through all those crises that you guys have shared and that we had from our friends who has been through something similar.
So there's this Russian success coach that has immense popularity in Russia, and he has a very interesting. He's very radical and very straightforward and unbearable to listen to, because he's very straightforward.
And making much sense.
And he's making immense amounts of money, and he has immense following, because actually what he says is true. And one of his advices was, if you really want to be successful, you have to be equanimous, about things also that you don't like, which sounds pretty ordinary and normal, and, of course, yeah, it makes sense. But then he gives practical exercises, and that's where it becomes a little bit complicated. So I have a version to stupid American comedies, the ones that are, the kind of Eddie Murphy and below, senseless screaming with cheap jokes, and it's that you want to revenge, or wipe out whoever has allowed this to happen. And so there's this reaction, for example, from my part to that kind of stupid American comedies, yeah, and shallow movies and Mexican TV series, because that comes from my Scorpio. Everything needs to have depth or substance or information, and it's my time, precious time, that I invest in watching a movie. So that coach says, well, if you're able to be equanimous about stupid American movies and watch a couple of them, and actually find how can you enjoy that. Well, this is you're getting step closer to your freedom and actually capacity to do serious business and to manifest things. When you're able to either go as shallow as possible if you prefer the depth, or to go as deep and serious as possible if you prefer the light and and superficial. So how can you comfortably sit in what you hate the most, or how can you comfortably accept like kind of people that you hate the most, you know?
And that hating is like so like directly connected to the judgments that we have. Yeah, exactly. So expansion, yeah.
It is about expansion. So coming from that Russian success coach, it's not a it's not a Buddhist philosophy only, yeah, where you know you have to be compassionate and inclusive and all that because it will bring you inner peace. It is actually an energetic switch that opens the areas in which that expansion can happen as soon as we accept what is very difficult to you know, what we don't resonate with.
So exactly. So actually, as Vanita is sharing, if I don't resonate with something, let this be a flag. Let me look with curiosity what this is and try to do it a few times and observe myself and see where was the block, you know? Because if we are able to really accept all, Evia has given a great example, all of the stupid superficial comedies, you know, that we would judge like that, it might tell us something about the language with which we can share some of our if we want to reach out and help certain amount of people, we will need to speak their language so that they can even accept what we are talking about. And it might need to be simplified or really streamlined so it doesn't include any sort of arcane language or concepts. It could be very simple and understandable by everybody. So part of our masterpiece will be that it's simple and effective and not arcane and understandable only by people with whom we do resonate, you know. So if we have lived a lot in Bali, it shouldn't be understandable only to Bali peeps. Yeah, it should work for our European crowd, for the business people in Europe, as well as for everyone in Bali.
Yeah, that's another aspect of Venus that brings this artistic touch to what we're about to create. So how can I make it beautiful if my message is too complicated or too boring? Well, how can I add a touch of sensibility, of artistry to it? How can I make it you know, harmoniously looking or sounding, or how can I turn what I want to do into art? Yeah, because this is we're going to more and more universal language. I have a really strong feeling that the classical marketing that forceful marketing will just die off, and it will merge into something that's really enhancing someone's visual field or nourishing sense of aesthetics, or you know, being harmonious altogether. So where we're heading towards is the natural harmony. You know, when you look at the forest, you can't say, oh, if only those 3 trees were not there, it would be perfect. Or you cannot say, oh, the moss is too green, but this flower could be more red. Like you have nothing to say about the nature, the way it has formed itself, because everything is in its right place. So going towards the natural order of things, well, what we do also will have to have that quality of spontaneous and natural harmony. And all the mind constructs of how you need to speak in order to be heard will feel increasingly kind of irritating and unnatural.
If they are unnatural, but if they come from this place of genuinely understanding this group of people, because I can also relate to them, and actually speaking from the place of, you know, sharing from the heart with this group of people as well, then it's natural, then it's fine, and then it just kind of flows because it comes from love of humanity, pretty much.
So that brings
Yeah.
us to another aspect of Venus, which is love, love, and love again. Venus connects us to the source of love. That's what the frequency of the planet is for and about. It's to help us, find that resonance of our innate capacity of love with the love that's coming from the source. So Venus is a sort of transmitter, translator to that. So if we find a ways to relate to the actual kind of planet and its frequency, we can find that there is a door to that power that has created the harmonious world, galaxies, nature, and everything, like butterflies, fishes. Think about what is the power of that intelligence that has created fishes in the sea. And there's nothing that you would add or take away, no matter how crazy natural things look like. So through the planet and frequency of Venus, you have a capacity of actually accessing that level of creativity that spontaneously puts together something extremely harmonious, pleasant, out of ingredients that you wouldn't expect. Yeah. So next level creation from love is also coming very strongly, and to be kind of pondered. Maybe it's not spontaneous, it's not easy to decondition from I have to make it like this because it will work, to I just want to, I am letting the pure harmony come through me, and I take back all my judgments about how it needs to be or look. The added difficulty is that it's coming in a Capricorn, which has the controlling element. So that controlling element will have to be transcended, because controlling comes from insecurities of I don't know if it's gonna be nice, good, or beautiful enough. So
yeah, so Capricorn is about timing and about certain planning so that it functions in time, like actions in time. So what comes to be looked at is, have we overpowered the creativity by putting the importance of the plan on top of it? Or is the plan coming as the consequence of what needs to be born? So what comes first, my plan, my day timer, and I have to do it then and there? Or I have looked at what wants to be created, and then I have created a plan to follow the vision that I have. So originally, of course, the plan has come second, the vision has come first. But now we've created a monster. We have created a monster bureaucracy, monster systems that used to be helpful, but have grown so much bigger than what we expected, and now they are overpowering what's possible to be created within these systems. So what this Pluto in Capricorn is saying is that we need to create new, healthy and alive systems that work for now and for the coming period. So if I'm making a business plan, it will have to be very directly reflected into the vision that I had for my project, for the creation, and not like I read from the book, this is how it's supposed to be, and now I'm applying the book and stifling my project. And we had that. When we try to fit our vision in any of these kind of branding parameters, any of these marketing parameters, we just feel we are being stifled. It's like, it's killing the vision. Because what we are about to give birth to has not existed before. So it cannot be planned within a plan that is existing. It has to be something very alive and very flexible so that it can accommodate this new creation that's about to be born.
And that's where the Uranus comes in the picture. and says, okay guys, if you had no ideas, here I come. If you don't know how to do things from the future, well, the Uranus is here to open that door and to give these lightning bolts of sudden insights and ideas that come from the future and that are actually future compatible. So why we give so much importance in detailing these things is because in spite of hearing that, for 10 years it's going to change, everything's going to be different and all that, it is actually going to change and be different. Believe me, this year is going to shake everything that's artificial, and it's about time actually to do that. It's unstoppable. Deep down, however it looks, Anna said, like, oh my God, like, how can I deal with what authorities say and what my heart says? Well, this is about time that the authority, the unnatural part of things actually collapses and falls apart. It will not go away without consequences. That's for sure. But as long as we're rooted in this natural kind of rhythms and times and certainty, like Joanna said, like you know what you want and you're not gonna go give it up easily, we will find that one little path through the crumbling, smoking ruins that will take you exactly where your heart knows it's harmonious, one way or the other. And what we've been shown, we had a little adventurous road trip to Chamonix, and we've been shown exactly the model of how it's going to work, that the plan will be diverted. And if you don't allow the plan to be diverted and kind of still insist on how you think you can do it, well, then the consequences will be long to repair. So it's very, very kind of opening the trust as far as you can, and listening to that intuition and inner guidance and your own kind of connection, and a little bit kind of shutting the ears and eyes off everything that tells you something against what you feel. Your body, your intuition, your own source connection is what you can rely on, and everything else has to be a little bit...
Understanding will come later. So first comes acting from that inspiration, inspired action, and understanding will come depending on the level of mastery that we have. So first, when we begin, you can also call it a free fall journey. So like you're in a free fall, and then like you're grabbing to the things that are coming your way very fast. And then when you look back, you say, but yes, this is kind of why we needed to go that way. The way how it's is going to be understood is through looking at symbols, and understanding how does the reality mirror to us what we are actually doing and what we need to do. So the will comes from the inspiration, and we do it as we feel is right from the heart, and then we connect how the signs that we have gotten into the coherent story. And the better we are in reading these signs, the understanding comes sooner and sooner after. At the moment that we are able to almost instantly understand what had happened, so you have made 10 steps, and then you have seen, this changed my reality. All of a sudden, without any problem, we have found a mechanic to repair our car. But in the meantime, we have gotten for like incredibly cheap this Jeep that will take us to the next place. And like the things have fallen in place in a way that we would never expect it. But if we will be quicker and quicker in understanding and reading these signs and seeing that, this is what we are actually meant to do.
It's cooperating with the natural reality, because, again, if we bring it back to artificial time and on which events are meant to be complicated, and the natural time, you will understand how effortless actually the life is when you establish the dialogue with your own reality. When you establish the dialogue and you are instant to understand what life is speaking to you every moment, there's no way that someone can, do something that's not appropriate and against your heart. So we've been training for years and years and years all together for this, but now we're gonna have to need it and use it, because if things go hectic, I mean, everything you need to know that you know how to use it. Yeah, like Sheila with her practical, I have a pain in the leg, or this is what I do. I have gotten the illness, well, this is what I do. So we need to be very, very capable of taking care of ourselves if things go hectic, and to not lose this inner peace and guidance at all times, even if it becomes really, really upsetting what we might see.
Inner guidance, because through that inner guidance we are connected to the actual guidance. Outer signs and information infusions and manipulating your subconscious and all these things, this is something not to react on. And we are like seeing it right now, how diverse is the influence that's coming from the outside, what somebody wants us to believe, and what our heart tells us to be the truth. So this is like a training ground, what to trust. Do I trust my body? Do I trust the sun, or I trust the Google clock? Do I trust my body, or I trust outside authority? So
it's theoretically it's nothing new, except that now we're gonna need it. So paying close attention to at least the basic things. Do you know how can you get yourself in touch with your inner guidance at all times? Even when you're seeing images that are very disturbing, or you hear something that's super alarming, do you at all times know where your inner truth is? There is one other aspect that we really wanted to share, because we see that people around us are struggling with, either they have great ideas and they don't know where to start and how to do, or they're working, but they can't have like new, more expanded ideas. And the root of how to make things happen is in the balance of inner polarities. If our inner polarities are perfectly balanced, and if you know whether they are or not, or if you know how to bring yourself back into that, it's about the only tool that we really need to have. Complete ability to understand and being able to balance our inner polarities, so that the intuition and the action actually work at the same time. Because it's not enough that you see, oh, I feel like I have to really get out of here. If your masculine polarity is saying, maybe let's wait a bit, or I'm not sure, or are you sure that what you're feeling, for this year, you will need to have both working in absolute synchronicity. And if your intuition says go, that you actually go. If your intuition says do, that you actually do. And that you're able to find this immediate, very balanced cooperation between your own two polarities of feeling and acting upon what you feel is right. So that's the mastery in which direction we will be challenged, and we need to know at all times how to balance our polarities, how to balance ourselves with the wider universe, kind of alignment to that natural grid, because without bringing any, again, doomsday scenarios, the energetic attacks are really real. They are getting stronger and stronger. So these things are not an option. It has to be something that you actually really know how to do.
So in this episode in this getting together, we will guide you through one procedure that we have downloaded, and we will do a little test. We will ask you to kind of come up with like simple things that you want to create in your life, something that you would like to manifest within the next maybe a week, let's say. And then we will share with you now the process of aligning the three parts of the body and those polarities together. And from that point, in our finding, you will have a very clear divine creator frequency opened. So what we will go through now is we will ask you to take a minute or two to kind of come up with what you would like to create in the next week before we meet again, and then observe the results of what we will be doing now. So
I would say it's not even so much what you want to create, but something that you would like to create and cannot for some reason. Either you don't have the idea, or you don't know how to do it. So which means that either of polarities is not showing up for the task. Because what this exercise can bring is actually this aligned space from which you can think more clear. Yeah, not even necessarily create something absolutely new or different, but if you have this one thing standing there and you don't know what to do with it, I think you'll feel the difference looking at it from
before and after.
From before and after the exercise.
Yes, it's recorded. Giacomo, we're recording it on our end, yeah.
It's so to give a little bit of introduction, and these are things from our private collection that we don't necessarily share because it's very alchemical, and it can be misinterpreted. It has to come in a context. Yeah. Well, Giacomo has experienced a little bit with us what body mudras can do, and it's very interesting that our own body is the most powerful energetic tool and antenna, and guess what? We always have it with us. So Venus in Capricorn is also inviting us to use our body
with precision to alter our energetic state, and basically to create whatever condition we need. I got a fantastic book in Nepal about mudras. So we know about mudras superficially, like this, and that, and a couple of others that we know for yoga related or meditation related. But I was absolutely stunned to see how complex those mudras can be, and for what variety of purposes, yeah, including for example, falling asleep mudra, which actually worked, and variety of purposes, including the digestion, or preventing the headaches, or having ideas. So it's very precious combination of two arms and two legs that we have on us at all times. And when plugged properly, they open the portals and possibilities that we wouldn't even believe exist. So paying attention to the body and its capacity of creating any energetic state that we want. So the background for this particular exercise is using this body circuitry
to create a certain state of alignment in harmony with the greater universal energy, plus using the alchemical notions of metals such as silver, copper, and gold, and not their physical substance, but their etherical counterparts, which is, if you imagine, for example, silver, well, you can imagine earrings or any kind of piece of silver, and then you can imagine that its etheric component is this vibrant silver particles that are not as dense as the physical material. It's not a dense reflecting state of material. It's a vibrant and alive substance of a material. So this exercise will involve these three metals. So when you visualize these metals, you visualize this vibrant, luminous state of silver, copper, and gold. And you know what's funny? We've been working on this combination of energetic combination of metals, but physically, if you blend silver, copper, and gold, you come to this very fancy modern form, which is rose gold. And rose gold has been really, it has become very popular among young people because they actually feel the potency of this combination of the three metals. So these fields will not blend into rose gold, but they will create this fourth state of harmony between the three individual metals, which will vibrate at the frequency of rose gold, which is in our measurings really beyond charts.
So I will explain a little bit a concept. It's relatively easy geometry to kind of imagine and overlap over your body that we're about to make. But before we actually enter into meditating into it together, I will just explain you what it looks like. You can imagine that it is three triangles embedded into each other, smaller and embedded into our body. So the first one is the triangle that if you imagine that you're standing with legs slightly apart, kind of forming a cone.
Like a teepee.
Yeah, like a teepee. The first triangle, the top is in your navel button and the sides go along your legs. So this is the first and the smallest one. The next one that is encompassing this one is starting with your third eye and going along your arms that are kind of parallel with the legs and going all the way to the ground as well. So it's the next bigger one, and this one is copper. And the third one is in parallel of this one, but kind of going on top of your head as if when you put your palms up, and then going parallel and to the ground and being a third teepee. So it's like these Russian dolls, one in the other, but these are three teepees in one, one encompassing the other.
And for the sake of practicality, just imagine that these three triangles, the teepee kind of size triangles,
like
and flat 2D. Yeah, no need to add the complexity of being a pyramid or anything else, just a plain three triangles, because what we care about is the geometry and not exactly the kind of 3D idea of it.
I didn't prepare the second camera, but I will try to give you, I don't know if it's going to show, like a little, here's like what it kind of looks like.
The second was not in the right place.
So the second one, instead of that heart, it goes to the third eye. But just imagine these are three teepees into one and another. I will send you the little illustration later on. This is just to give you the visual clue so that they are aligned like this, parallel, one into the other.
Ultimately, they have the same kind of side slopes
They're parallel, yeah.
And this is what naturally your body actually creates.
Yeah, let me see
Along,
if I can stand far enough that you can see. Maybe not. It's like we have too small a room for this. But it's kind of standing like this, and your arms are parallel with your legs like this.
And those lines you will draw in your mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
So
is it clear? Like the geometry of it? 3 triangles, one into the other.
So what these 3 triangles represent, we don't want to give too much of a mind idea on it.
We encoded it what it needs to have, so I don't think it's even necessary to share too much mind stuff.
Well, we can give just the idea that it's about the body, heart and mind complex and the spirit, as well as
body, mind, spirit, or
as
power, wisdom, love.
And love.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 triangles are connected to the earth, and by earth we mean the nature and actually the life-sustaining force, the living part of the earth that we are interacting with. Yeah, so the alive part of earth. For now we detach a little bit the idea of the center of the earth or Gaia or any concepts that you are not personally kind of familiar with. If you are, then you can relate to that, but relate to the part of the earth that you are actually experientially know. And if you know that there's a crystal in the middle of the earth, feel free to connect to that. If you don't know, then you bring into your awareness that part of the earth that you personally know exists and is life bringing.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid things that we read about, but we haven't really experienced. So when we say we connect to the earth, literally connect to the earth that you know and not something that you read about. Yeah, a lot of new age books have given us partially misleading ideas. So that part of the earth you know, you connect to that. So that's the first one. The second one, copper one.
As well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the first 2 so connect to the earth, and it's the body part of ourselves and the heart mind, because when we say body, mind, spirit, well, the mind is now blended with the heart, so it goes in
I will remind you to that in the meditation that mind means heart mind. It means almost like the number 8 going in between of your mind and down to the heart, mind, heart. The number 8s are always going in between of the 2. So always active. This is actually the mind. Mind is coherence between heart and mind.
Mm-hmm. And mind is our capacity of interacting consciously with the world. Mm-hmm. And that distinguishes us from, for example, from the ghosts who do not have a discerning mind. So our discerning mind, together with heart, creates our live stream.
And then the third triangle is the first 2 connected to the earth. The third one is connecting to the source of all existence. So however you are seeing maybe you see it as a God, maybe you see it as a universe, maybe you see it as field or as creator energy. However you experientially feel the source of everything that exists in the universe, what we see and what we don't see, this is what it connects to.
That sustains life in the universe.
Mm-hmm. We will call it spirit in the meditation. So there you go. I think now we have all the elements.
Mm-hmm. So these 3 planes of existence, when they are in perfect balance, you actually have the all ingredients and support to do something constructive in your life, which means that you have a clear idea where the heart and mind agrees on the idea. You have the alignment with your power, so you can concretely act upon it, and you have the universal backup that actually will help to feel safe in order to, do what you want to do. Because usually when we take things and do it from our human perspective, we don't have this ultimate security that what we are going to do will actually work, and what if we fail and this. But when you address this third pyramid and understanding that nothing can happen to you that's not for you or somehow useful for you, you get this freedom to live out of the fearful state and into, trusting that you cannot go wrong. Basically, you cannot go wrong. But it becomes a real feeling, because it starts permeating and co-creating with you. This is literally the universe co-creating with and through you.
Yeah.
So that's the basic idea about alignment, and you can make your own experience with it and see what it brings exactly to you. Don't take our interpretation for the ultimate truth. These are universal geometries that we felt to share because that helps us. So you can take it to the next level through your system. And at the end, so this most important coherence is between your own polarities, which we will kind of finish with.
Show how it's going to be, so how we will put them together with those two palms on the heart.
Yeah, so at the end we will, of course, very simple, but if you give it a proper kind of attention, the both palms together do actually bring your two polarities together, and then crossing them over your body actually, and in whichever way you feel spontaneous to choose whether your right hand goes first or your left hand goes first, because it has a special significance. Crossing the arms mudra is something that balances the brain hemispheres. Like any time that you're confused or whatever, there is this even when we're crossing arms or legs, is that one or the other part of the brain needs support. So left arm goes for the right brain, right arm goes for the left side of the brain. So by crossing them, we bring them in alignment. This brings our inner masculine and feminine, and this our, let's say, physical and etherical brain. So we will finish with saving that state within ourselves, and then the next thing, you completely forget about it and just pay attention to what you feel in your physical body. Like, get all the pyramids out of the mind and just stay with the physical sensation about it. So I hope it made sense, but if you get the geometry, that's good enough. And you can take as an example, for example, your current challenge, small, big, whatever, something that you are not really sure about. Although I have a feeling that now that we have described, it's already happening. I feel the energy is moving and it's already happening.
Great, but actually it's good to go through the practice so that you remember it, put it on your body so you can use it for you in future as well.
Yeah, anytime that you're confused, this clicks all the ideas in place and brings instant clarity. So yeah, for the sake of experiment, let's give it a minute.
Yeah, we give you
choose an intention that you can actually work on or through with this alignment.
Yeah. So let's begin, and we will begin and we'll give you this chance to think of within the meditation. So you can close your eyes. and take a deep breath in. And with the breath out, sink into this moment, into the place where you're. The question is, you can continue sitting, or if you feel like wanting to stand and create the geometry, you can do that as well. As long as you know what this geometry looks like in the drawing, you can imagine it, or you can stand and put yourself in that position. For me, I will guide you as you are, whatever feels right for you. So again, we are taking a deep breath and sinking in into the place where you are and being right here and right now. And take about a minute to reflect on what is something, a topic in your life at this moment that has a level of unclarity. Something that you would like to have a clearer picture about. Maybe it's clouded by your vision, maybe it is something about this week, maybe it's something about that's bothering you and been uncleared for the last month or so. But if you had a question or an issue like that, take a moment to reflect what you would like it to be. We will try to gain clarity about this issue during this exercise. And now, with this question in mind, we are going to create this geometry of perfect alignment. Alignment with elements and polarities. So we are creating the first pyramid and putting it over our body. The smallest one, this is the silver pyramid. Imagine the top of the pyramid starting in your navel button, somewhere in the center of your body. Or you can simply think about it as triangle or as cone, whatever works for you. And then project it down your spread angled legs and all the way to the earth. You can imagine that it goes slightly into the earth, but imagine the earth as the nature, something that you experientially know. Whatever is earth for you. So this triangle goes around your lower part of the body and it's shimmering etheric silver in quality. Just slowly form it and feel it around lower part of your body. And I'm calling it to be stabilized right now. So now we're creating a second triangle, pyramid or cone, whatever is easiest for you to imagine, parallel to this one, and its top is in your pineal gland, third eye projected in the center of your skull. So imagine that it starts from there and it starts forming itself, going in parallel along your angled arms and all the way to the earth, also slightly getting inside of the earth. Its quality is copper, etheric copper, whatever it feels for you. In your imagination, make sure that your hands are aligned with your palms, fingers are very straight, thumbs together along the palms, and they form perfect lines. So that this triangle is actually you. You, your pineal gland, your arms, all the way down to the earth. The quality of shimmering copper. And now we are creating the third pyramid. So imagine that its top is where your folded palms would feel on top of your head. This is that seventh chakra. And form it down parallel along those arms and encompassing the previous two pyramids going all the way down to the earth. And its quality is etheric shimmering gold. So it forms from the top down, and once you have formed it and stabilized, we want to plug its top all the way up to the creator energy of all that is, whatever it is for you. It's the source, ultimate source of everything that exists, visible and invisible. So take a time to form it and feel it. And now feel all three of them working together. Shimmering silver pyramid starting from your navel, together with shivering copper pyramid starting from your third eye, both connecting to the earth, and shivering gold pyramid encompassing all of these and connected up to the center of all there is. Try to feel all three at the same time. And literally feel how they interact with the cells of your body. They create order. They create subtle channels of creation, almost as if magnetizing your cells. Combining your body, your heart, mind, and your spirit. And from this point, we put our palms together in front of our heart, uniting positive and negative polarity, male, female, light, dark, black and white. Feel them merge together and perfectly aligned along the middle of our body. And to finally fix and keep this geometry, we cross our palms over our heart and unite the arms with the body, and this act seals this geometry within your body. From this point on, it's mapped on you. And I'm sealing it with this bell right now. So the alignment work has been done. You can slowly start coming back into the room. And then throughout the day, feel what's happening in your body and in your reality.
Mm-hmm. You can pay attention to your immediate feeling in the body, And then just see how ideas develop and flow during the day. And if you feel like you can take this geometry can take you to any length, including the interstellar travel. So explore it and make it your own.
Yeah, we don't want to add too many words on top of the process. So just say, observe your reality with this geometry, and next week we will bring another super powerful geometry that is going to add to this one.
But if you feel like sharing what happened for you and how you feel, we still have 10 minutes, so feel free to share how it felt for you.
Mm.
It's not even a meditation. It's properly alignment of all your fields. It's very, very technical.
I'm making a note of you guys who have been here live, because this is one of those things we cannot share on the recording. But to you guys, I will send a little sketch if you need it as a help to create this later on in your own meditations. Those 3 triangles properly plugged. So we would love to hear if if you have felt something during this process, feel free to share. Yes, Giacomo. I'm not hearing you. Let's see. You are unmuted, but I don't hear you. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, okay. It's our... Yeah, now we do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was surprised at how strong the anchoring points in the body were. My navel, the third eye, and the chakra above my head. They all 3 felt really strong. Really like a stone, like a thing. And the most important element was that when you rung the bell at the end, all 3 of them became one. That sealed everything. It was really masterful. No, I mean, this procedure, this thing that you've given us, it's a real. It has become really strong for me right now. It's really in there. It's in the physical. Yeah, it's really good. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Giacomo. Thank you. Oh,
Enjoy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a transmission. So you have the blueprint because that's now it's yours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Giacomo. Eve, you have a hand up?
Yeah, I just thanks so much for that. It was really interesting to me because you really emphasize the point about being in places in nature that you've been to, and I don't know why, it's probably since meeting you guys, I started like planting like little crystals everywhere I've been, and I was trying to like put like plant myself there, but actually when I started to do the base, it was like I got bigger, like my base of my triangle was like England to France.
Whoa.
Massive. Like, how big am I right now? Like, so it was really interesting just to incorporate, like that was just what came to me, and it was really cool. Like, I'd never experienced anything like that, so thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you. Great point.
How about clarity from that scale?
Yeah, it was really like just to have a more of a far-sightedness of getting a better visual of everything. Yeah, like a bigger makes me think of like omniscience. The 17th gene key. It's like that far-sightedness, kind of not being bogged down in the small things. Like getting a bigger, wider view. Yeah.
Yeah.
A beautiful reminder, Eve. I just want to remind everyone that the reason why these are triangles is because they can go as big as possible. So now
Expandable.
they are between two countries, England and France. They can as well be from our galaxy to Alpha Centauri, and just expand to any size. So amazing
Yeah.
reminder. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I said that it can be used for interstellar kind of communication, because um, uh, this combination of metals is actually, those are all, they have come to Earth from the stars. So they also have this vibration of connecting us to any point in the galaxy if we know how to do that.
And how to do it is just to imagine it. Yeah. Anyone else would like to share how it felt for you guys? Yes, Ev, please.
Thank you for sharing this beautiful, very beautiful transmission and activation practice. I felt I could feel the different metals really strongly, the colors, and I also I was feeling the different triangles, but the most powerful moment was crossing the arms. Then it was almost like sweating, and I could feel like my womb really activated as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Ev. I love to hear how it actually connected to your bodies, because that's exactly what our experience is as well. Anyone else? Yes, Eleonora.
And then Vanita.
And then Anita, yeah.
So yeah, it was first of all nice to meet you all, and what I experienced, like a hit to my head, it was like bam, and so something connected there. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, so very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Eleonora.
You got the lightning strike to crack open some beautiful ideas.
Anita wanted to go next.
Okay. Yes. I feel.
And
I'm
Vanita.
usually a little bit Vanita or Anita.
Yeah, we have one letter difference. Yeah. Well, both of you
Okay,
then.
Anita and then Vanita.
Yes.
They are. Yes. So I will be very short, and Vanita can come. So I feel much more balanced and much more aligned, and I tried this morning a little bit disorganized, and it made me feeling the balance and the peace in myself.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Exactly. Because all planes of existence are just there at the same time. Exactly.
Thank you.
So now you know what to do when you feel disorganized.
Thank you, Anita. And Vanita, we ask you to unmute.
I think for me was my feet. I actually physically did it. I physically stood up and did it, and I felt my feet was burning. But I don't know whether it's also the weather here has been really hot. It had been rain for like more than a week, which is completely unnatural in this country. Yeah, so my feet was burning, but I did feel some of the energy go through. I put my hands up and everything. It felt comforting. I think also because I was my experience of the end of the year, beginning of the year. I don't feel as if I'm up to speed to this year yet. I'm not up to speed, but basically it doesn't feel to me the new year has started yet. I'm like still kind of waking up to it, you know.
Yeah, it hasn't. It will start in March, so yeah, it hasn't.
It really didn't.
Yeah.
I completely, I believe you, because it just, my body is like, and there's like, I'm very much resonated with Anna, I think. It's because it felt like a lot of stuff is like, oh, I'm waiting, I'm in between. I know what I need to do, but it's not like there's this blocked. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm in paradise. What am I complaining about? So I'm just decided to kind of be very present to whatever is happening and deal with it. However, when I can deal with it. But when the blocks open, I'm not going to like push it or anything. So it felt a little bit, then it comes. Crossing the arms actually calmed me down a lot. So that's good. Thank you for the awareness this year.
Thank you, Vanita. Beautiful to hear you.
Well, thank you guys, all of you, and it was such a pleasure to see you and feel you
and reconnect. Yeah, it's been a little while. We have been missing you.
And yeah, well, let's rock this 22 in perfect alignment, balance, and harmony. And yeah, reach out if you need any precision.
Sheila. Sheila, please unmute.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you for this meditation, and I don't have words for it for the moment. I want to do it again when I'm standing up also. So we will see. Sometimes I think I need to have a certain structure I was feeling or not. So therefore I'm just landing in it for a moment. And I feel more calm though, more relieved somehow when I think about it, right after about the thinking I had. So it was like this. Mm-hmm. So that's good. I feel good about it. I'm not up in my head. I have a question. So we go back. Is it okay to go backwards a little bit from the beginning? That the new year starts in March, you say?
March 21st, yes.
The organic New Year. Mm-hmm.
The organic. Okay, good. There is some people, they say the new year for them starts in January, kind of end of January. I think they say from the Chinese or something, the New Year. So they don't celebrate the New Year like we do here in Europe. What is that? Do you know? What is that for kind of New Year they are talking about?
Yeah. Different cultures are actually kind of deciding to begin it at different time.
Also based on their geographic location, the Chinese year is really for China, and they're also based on planets. So it's not every year. So anything that has a movable date, which is calculated on moons, is more organic. So the Chinese New Year is approximately in the same range of dates, but not always on the same date. It's not only 1st of February. This year it is, but last year it might have been the 6th or 7th. It's about the moon cycles. And the universal kind of New Year on 21st of March is one of those 4 portals of
it's spring
big
equinox.
Planetary alignments.
Spring
not
equinox.
Only the moon. Other cultures are more taking the moon cycles into counting their New Years. Like Balinese, it will be in March, but based on their moon calendar. So I think the solar New Year is the 21st of March, and all else is based on moon cycles.
It's kind of Earth New Year. Why? Because there are these 4 parts of the year where the day becomes shorter or longer. So 21st of March, it's equal and starts getting bigger. So when the day is longer, we have longer days than nights, and it goes all the way to the 21st of September, where it becomes equal again. and then the day starts getting shorter, shortest on December 21st. So it's like, these 4 points. When it's shortest day, it's like the longest winter, and so forth. And when it's the longest day, this is in July 21st, then it is the peak of fertility, peak of summer, peak of...
In Northern Hemisphere.
All Northern Hemisphere, because this was connected to... in Australia, it's the opposite. But the thing is, we look at the plants, we look what our trees think, and we maybe trust them. There are many of them, and they know. When they want and start sprouting, we know, the year starts. When they start losing the leaves, we say, okay, the winter is starting. So best not to trust humans and their calculations with moons and whatever. Let's trust nature. This is much more direct experience because our body is plugged to that and not in the mind concept that somebody came up with.
The only calendar that is completely inorganic is ours. Yeah. So that's why New Year's wishes never really work out, because they're planted in the worst possible energetic moment where nothing will come true. So in the no energy moment. So that's the only one that we shouldn't really trust for what it is. And that's why, we don't have the feeling of that something new is happening. It's more of mental idea. Well, however...
Lovely. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love this nature, body energy.
Yeah.
Nature
it can be
thing.
very simple at the end, and let's stick to that.
Yeah.
Let's stick to what's organic, alive, and sustaining us.
So big hug. Lots of love to you guys, and I hope to see you all next week. Mwah.
Yes, big hugs. Ciao, 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 ciao.
Big
Thank you.
hugs. Love to
Ciao.
see you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.